Hi guys! So, ayan. Napag-usapan natin tungkol sa responsibilidad. Totoo nga naman. Kaya laging may nasisira na relationship, family man or friendship or sa isang community. Takot tayo sa responsibility kaya naghahanap tayo ng madaling paraan. Sabi nga nila, walang madaling paraan, kahit mag-scam nga eh. Gumagawa ka ng technique pero mas madali kasi yun kaysa sa hardware. Pero kasalanan yun eh. Kung gusto nating umiwas, doon tayo sa hardware. Pero kailangan din naman nating work smartly. Work smartly, it means, kasi ang ibang pagkakaintindi ng iba sa work smartly is, pumunta ka doon, pag babae ka, lalo pag maganda ka at sexy, maghanap ka ng matanda at madaling mamatay. Yung MMM, hindi po. Work smartly, kundi alagaan din sarili natin, alagaan din natin emotionals natin, alagaan din natin yung ito, alagaan din natin ito. At kumain ng tama para yung health natin, lalo pag gulay, kasi meron tayong makukuha sa meat, laging kumakain ng meat, lalo sa genes na pinapasa natin. Kaya may mga special child na sinasabi nila, pag lumabas yung child, distorted or sorry sa word na to, kulang-kulang na sinasabi nila. So, marami namang pwedeng i-search dyan na or tingnan po natin kung gagawa ka ng topic about bakit hindi maganda rin ang karne lagi. Kasi pag hindi tayo ang dadanas ng sakit na yon sa generations, parang yung sins din. So, kasalanan din natin. Yun yung part ng gluttony also. I-balance natin yung meat, vegetable, etc. sa ating katawan. Yun ang part ng gluttony. Hindi yung dahil sa kumain ka ng sobra. Pag iintindihan natin mabuti, madaming ibig sabihin ng sin na gluttony. Pati yung pride and ego or kahit yung ibang kasalanan. Pati yung lust, kasi hindi lang sa paggawa eh, minsan dito eh, di ba? Or pag may nakita kang dumaan na paglalaki ako, may dumaan sa harap ko na wow, sexy, ang ganda. Depende sa inisip mo na agad. Last na po yun, kasalanan. So, nasa lahat doon sa control, patient, and linis ng pag-iisip, sabihin natin. Lahat nakakonect dito eh. Control, patient, and understanding. So, ayan. And meron din akong nakitang video na wow, baka hindi nga sa religion, kundi nasa sa tao, kung paano niya i-learn yung isang bagay, kung paano mag-accumulate ng learning and inside the family, kung anong pinag-uusapan nila, kung anong culture outside also of the community, environment, lahat. So, nasa tao lang din kung paano niya i-accumulate lahat yun. Kung ano umiira sa utak niya. Kasi, syempre, panoorin muna natin bago tayo mag-tackle ng more than.
Prostation. Page 279. Alif Lamin. The revelation of the book, of which there is no doubt, is from the Lord of the universe. Did they say he has invented himself, Muhammad? Surely it is the truth from your Lord that you may forewarn a people none has warned before you, and they may be rightly guided. All Muhammad was done was true. Muhammad was just warning. Muhammad was just warning.
In a video circulating on YouTube, a man does something out of the ordinary. This man, Grayson Brock, an American content creator, has made waves in the online world with his exceptional content. What he did this time isn't something typical. It's a journey that might transform his life in the future. The video on his YouTube channel documents his remarkable feat, reading an entire Holy Scripture in one sitting. This is not an easy task, as not everyone can accomplish it. However, what truly grabbed the public's attention was his decision to read the Quran in one go. In total, he spent 18 hours completing his reading. Tirelessly, he marked significant points on his body to track his progress and the parts that held special meaning to him during his reading of the Quran. After 18 long hours, Grayson finally completed his mission. From his reading of the Quran, he distilled 3 key insights that were profoundly meaningful to him. First, the importance of reverence and obedience to God, without associating any partners with him. Second, the necessity of self-restraint from worldly desires and living in accordance with divine guidance. Third, the duty and virtue of being good to one's parents, as honoring one's parents is a core tenet of religious teachings.
I wrote these like 15 minutes ago because I got the themes of the book. The first one being to fear God. That is the first theme of this book. It is essentially having a deep respect for God. Number 2, don't follow your desires. This is a verse from the Quran. Happy shall be he that keeps himself pure. So don't just follow your desires, because following your desires might lead you to sin. And sinning is when you go against yourself. That's what sinning is. That's what the Quran says sinning is. And lastly, this is from the Quran. Be kind to your parents.
Even though he's a Christian, Grayson has a penchant for venturing into uncharted territories without hesitating to step out of his comfort zone. Initially, he harbored unfavorable biases about Islam, influenced by media portrayals and his social milieu. During his Quranic reading, he anticipated stumbling upon verses related to terrorism and violence. However, he was taken aback by what he encountered. Instead, he unearthed the beauty inherent within the Quran, going as far as describing it as the most serene thing he had ever encountered.
I read the entire Quran in one sitting as a white boy, Christian, and I was shocked because, and I can prove that I read the whole thing because you can see the video right there, but I was shocked because I thought it was going to be like really evil and about, I don't know, terrorism, and it was actually amazing. And the most peaceful thing after finishing, I was just like, wow, I feel like I've had some questions answered about life. It literally says ward off evil with good. Where did this notion come from that people think Islam is very like evil and aggressive and angry? Maybe it's because the news. I think it's because the news. Everything is from the news is fake. The news is fake. We gotta stop watching the news.
Although he had dedicated his life to studying the Bible, reading it in its entirety gave him a fresh perspective. He was taken aback by the severe acts depicted in the Old Testament, which he found crazy. When he turned to the Quran, he noticed significant shared values between Islam and Christianity. The Quran's profound depth and intensity impressed him, despite its smaller size compared to the Bible. Conversely, Grayson felt that modern Christianity has strayed from its roots. This realization led him to contemplate Jesus' warning about a divided kingdom's inevitable downfall.
I just read the entire Bible and the entire Quran. When I read the Bible, I was surprised at how violent it was. I've been studying the Bible my whole life, but reading all the way through, like the Old Testament is crazy. And I also, reading the Quran made me realize that the values that Muslims share with Christians, or like that they do share values, like pretty much everything is the exact same. Islam and the Quran is just much more to the point. It's 1/10 of the size of the Bible, so only 10%. Much more clear cut, as you can kind of tell, like in Arabic and Muslim culture, they're more strict, or they're just like, there's no bullshit, basically. They don't mess around with all this time, and you don't disrespect the Prophet Muhammad, and you don't disrespect Islam. Although Christianity feels like it's not really standing for much anymore because now it's just like so loose and everywhere. And Jesus said, a kingdom divided will fall.
Additionally, he reflected on the Bible's teaching that blasphemy against God is the only act that brings about God's wrath. In his view, this blasphemy occurs when someone places anything above God, which he regarded as a severe sin. He began to understand that worshiping a human being as God is the most blatant form of blasphemy. This realization made him more critical of the concept of divinity in Christianity. He saw that in practice, Christianity was no longer strictly monotheistic, but had shifted towards idolatry, with Jesus at its center. The commandment against idol worship is reiterated many times. Nevertheless, he observed that Christians still violate this commandment. They venerate statues and accept various widespread misconceptions.
The Bible even says that blasphemy against God is the only thing you can do to not earn God's favor, to not get into heaven. You put yourself or you put something else in front of God. And I started to realize worshiping a human as God seems blasphemous to God. Christianity is not monotheistic. It's about an idol. It's about worshiping Jesus. Worshiping Jesus, to me, it's blasphemous because you're really worshiping yourself. You're worshiping another human, thinking that you can be perfect like the human. That does not make sense. All I can say, guys, is monotheism makes sense. Monotheism is the only thing that makes sense. Monotheism is within this book. You can read it in the Old Testament. They warn, the entire Old Testament is warning God's people over and 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 over. The entire Old Testament, which is like 3/4 of the Bible. The entire Old Testament is do not put anything before God. Do not put any idols before God. Do not worship made idols. Don't do it. And they did it. They did it. They're statues. There is lies out there. There is lies.
Additionally, he pointed out that it is commonly known Jesus spoke in Aramaic. He previously cited a prayer from the Bible where Jesus instructs his disciples how to pray to God. What struck him was the realization that Jesus himself prayed to God, and then suggesting that Jesus was not God.
Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. That's the Christian prayer, and Jesus told his disciples how to pray. And it starts out with our Father. Jesus was worshiping God. And Jesus spoke Aramaic. You know how he said God, how you say God in Aramaic? Look it up. Allah. This just might be the only religion left. The only monotheistic religion left. Truly monotheistic. Monotheistic means following the one creator, one. Intuitively, everyone knows that there must be one. We must have come from one source, and that source is the truth. And that truth is God. That's the idea of God, is that it's the truth. The truth that you can go all the way back to. And now I'm realizing I've been lied to my entire life.
Yan! Wow! Christian yung lalaki, tapos binasa niya daw lahat ng Quran within, sabi mo na, 1 day. Wow! A good gift actually yun. Tama yung may nagsabi din sa narrator na hindi kaya ng isang tao yun. Kung meron ka malakas na determination, oo. So, isang kind ng gift din yun. So, wala sa religion. Christian ka man, Muslim, or Buddhism, ano pa yung Taoism, etc. Kahit anong religion dyan. Depende sa tao talaga. At siyempre, level ng intelligence, level ng knowledge. Pero yung nakakataas sana, intindihin niya yung nasa baba na intelligence and knowledge. Hindi lahat, porket alam mo, kasi, naka-experience din ako ng ganyan. Especially sa school. Nasa teacher din kung paano mag-teaching or kung nabanggit niya yun. Yung part na kailangan nating intindihin. Kasi napakinggan ko din naman, hindi lang sa isang tao to. At sa teacher din naman, ewan ko kung, nakalimutan ko na kung anong teacher sa elementary, high school, or college. Na sana hindi nila tanggalin. Yung kahit konti, may i-advise sila na nanggaling sa experience or sa buhay. Yung mga teachers kasi may napanood ako hiring ata yung company, ay hindi, ewan ko kung magka-college or magka-high school yung bata. Kunting paragraph, comprehensive daw, kasi English yung pinasulat ata sa kanya. Nilagay yung picture ng ginawa niyang sentence, madaming eraser actually, ballpen yung ginamit. Tapos yung grade sa card, 91, 90 plus, lahat 90 plus. Pero nung tanungin na yung student or gumawa ng sentence, wala na po sa speaking comprehensive or writing. Okay lang sana kung yung student is magaling sa speaking kasi may mga taong ganun talaga. Sa speaking siya magaling, sa gawa, pero sa written hindi magaling. Yung iba magaling sa written pero sa speaking hindi. Pero parang parehas ata. So, meron na tayong nagkakaproblema tayo sa school, sa teaching, sa education. Sana hindi po natin i-lower grade yung, kasi madami ding akong nabasa na comment doon Sabi nila sana ibalik yung dati na pagbagsak-bagsak talaga. Parang mas maganda nga po yun talaga. Kasi minsan kahit bagsak ka, yung ituturuan ka ng teacher na gumawa ng project or assignment or task para i-accumulate yung kulang sa grade mo. Ang natututunan ng isang estudyante doon is determination. Na kailangan niyang dagdagan yung grade niya or tingnan yung pagkakamali niya. 'Di ba sa last school years, may mga part na ganun na syempre paano ka naman papasa kung huwag pairalin din yung babayaran yung teacher para makapasa. Apply it or practice it. It's better. Na tinuturuan din tayo maging hard work nun Kahit sorry. na language namin yun, yung kaman. Ibig sabihin parang anong tawag kasi doon? Compilation or ano kasing tawag doon? Basta, yung mga ganong scenario. And pag hindi marunong magbasa, tutukan siguro or syempre dapat yung parents. Kasi nawawala na po yung kunti na lang galaw. Napapansin ko ngayon, kunting galaw, ay tinatamad ako. Ang dami kong gagawin. Pag i-compare mo naman sa, kasi comparing din po to. A healthy comparing tawag doon. i-compare mo naman yung nanay noon na isasabay lahat yung pag-aalaga ng yung anak na minsan pa 12-8 na anak, tapos magluluto, maglalaba, maglalampaso, maglilinis, ganun. Pero ngayon, konti lang maglaba. Ang dami ko nang gagawin wala akong time. Pero pag sa cellphone, madami. Sorry about that one. So, alam ko, masakit ang patama. Pero, kailangan po natin minsan. Doon tayo nagigising minsan i-try nyo patamahin yung sarili nyo. Masakit, di ba? Lalo yung patamahin mo yung sarili mo sa weaknesses mo. Kailangan nating i-accept po. Pati yung weaknesses natin. Kailangan nating i-pursue yung weaknesses natin. Malay mo doon tayo. Pag sa part of business or work, yung weaknesses natin, doon pala tayo upgrade na sinasabi natin. Doon natin matututunan na, wow, kaya ko pala. Kung noon ko pa sana ginawa, pero wala pa namang late. Pag tayo madisappoint, kasi walang late. So, forward tayo. So, ayan, wala ngang really religion. Kasi may nasabi din ako dun sa isang video ko na, anong meron sa Muslim na parang nung time ni Hitler, Muslim din ang dahilan kaya nagkagulo. So sorry about that statement. I know parang lahat na damay na, sorry. So it really depends on the person itself. So really, we have to understand one another. That's why. So another awakening also at that part. So religion is not the issues here. It's our qualities and attitudes. Observe yourself, what's your bad quality, improve it, manners, etc. Or if you observe that something is different, especially culture, maybe we have to put ourselves more beyond our comfort zone. It's better than recognizing that culture and nilalagay ka sa kapahamakan. Kasi totoo yung lagi nilang sinasabi na umalis ka kasi sa comfort zone mo. Kailangan umalis sa comfort zone mo para malaman mo. Kasi modernized na po ngayon, lalo pang maging modernized sa next generation, i-consider pa rin pa natin yung traits natin sa culture. Well, kunin natin yung magandang culture. Pero yung against sa magandang ikakabuti ng ating buhay, iwan natin. Parang a part of culture, history, from root. Katulad ng culture na respect, family ties, or family bonding. Respect of children to parents, then parents to children, etc. Magandang culture yun, di ba? Di, dalhin natin. Pero yung culture na, kunwari, madami din naman tayong culture na weird na parang yung katulad ng ipipilit sa'yo na ipakasal yung lalaki kahit ayaw mo. Why not iwan natin po yan? Let's move up. Kailangan natin i-accept na kung gusto ng anak natin na i-pursue muna yung job na gusto niya, yung pangarap, or mahanapan yung lalaking gusto niya na pakasalan, gawin po natin as a parent. Huwag natin ipilit. Kasi minsan, dahil doon nagkakagulo yung relationship between child and parent. Or community itself. Kasi minsan lahat ginagawa nila being more open-minded. Kasi, excuse me, I think confirmation. Kasi lahat, di ba, sa community, ginagawa din nila. Kung anong ginagawa ng isa, gagawin din nila. Kasi iba din yung being open-minded lang. Kailangan natin ng more open-minded in understanding. Kaya siguro minsan yung anak nagkakaroon ng babae o lalaki dahil doon. Or dahil sa irresponsibility natin na gusto nating umangat agad, may nakita tayong babae o lalaki, di iaano natin yung sarili natin, di pinansin tayo hanggang humantong ng kasalan. Kaya sa part na naghihiwalay sila or yung ina, ama, walang pagmamahal sa anak. Kasi dahil po doon. Ang minahal niya lang kung anong meron yung taong yun. Kung anong nakita niya, yun ang pinakasalan niya. Actually. Buti kung sa pagsasama niyo is minahal kanya, tapos yung magiging anak niyo, yun ang maganda. Kasi once in a blue moon yun, miracle. Nag-asawa sila, akala niya yun lang yung hapon niya, bigla niyang minahal. Pero kung yung hanggang huli, yun lang ang minahal niya, wala talagang pagmamahal. Or meron kasi yung culture din na parang laro-laro lang. Yung bata sila, nasa high school sila, parang curiosity siguro sa naririnig nila. Tinikman nila, at siyang nagbunga. Yung parents naman, dahil sa kahihiyan, pinilit nilang magpakasal sila. Yun ang broken family na sinasabi nila. Karmic family. Karmic family din naman yung basta may magulo na pamilya. Hanggang sa naghiwalay sila. Yung babae ang nagtataguyod sa pamilya or yung lalaki. Ang nagtataguyod sa mga anak nila. Lalaki or babae. Pero yung babae or lalaki na isa is walang pakialam sa kanila kasi wala ngang pagmamahal. Well, yun din ang na-observe ko as being a broken family. Sa part is kung sinong nagtataguyod sa inyo is yun ang totoong may malasakit. Pero pag yung walang pakialam, alam nyo na yun. Kaya, advice ko sa inyo, mga teenagers or bata pa, huwag kayong maghangad ng, kung nasa mother kayo, huwag kayong maghangad ng father love. Or kung sa father part kayo, nagstay hanggang lumaki, huwag kayong maghangad ng mother love. Kasi reality, minsan lang yung isipin ka ng tatay mo or mother mo na bisitahin. Kung talagang mahal ka nila, gagawin nila lahat. Kung kahit iniiwas ka ng mother or father mo sa nanay or tatay mo. Kasi reality, ang liit ng Pilipinas. May mga part na nagsasabi na, tinatago kasi kayo ng nanay nyo or tatay nyo. Kaya hindi ko kayo mahagilap. Ang dami dyan na pwedeng pagtanungan kung kwan. Nasaan sila? Imposible. Ang dami dyan. Depende na lang kung nasa abroad sila. O, di ba? Imposible naman na. Kaya hindi ako naniniwala sa gano'n na sinasabi na, ay, depende na rin naman. Kung wala siyang budget na, kung lumipat sa ibang lugar, yung wala silang budget na hanapin. Yun, consideration din naman yun. Pero may FB, may etc. Imposible naman ako. Ay, depende rin naman pag iba yung pangalan sa FB at etc. Pero pag mag-pray kay God, may paraan. Kung talagang mahal mo yung pamilya mong yan. Kung biglang nawala sa paningin mo. Miracle na tinatawag natin. Pray ka lang kay God. At mahahanap mo yung pamilya mong yan na hindi man, iniwan man or hindi. Pag mahal mo sila or kahit yung mga anak, pray lang kay God. At si God mismo gagawa ng paraan sa isang tao. Sa social media, biglang mag-a-appear sa'yo. Di ba? Parang magic. So, God is powerful. Even the impossible will always be possible. O, di ba? O, di ba? Ganyan. So, yan. So, itong topic na to is napunta na doon na tungkol sa walang issues about the religions, but it's ourselves. Sometimes yung ego and pride, nandun na rin yun. So, yan. See you again in my next video. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell notification, comment if you want, and share. So, see you again in my next videos. Comment down your experiences about this kind of stuff. Thank you.